Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. Get your guy.
So here we have two bonnet-headed Beckies. One is talking about, oh yeah, dog diggity. Me and my roommate, we both wear our bonnets to sleep, but my boyfriend has the worst fear of missing out. And then bonnet-headed Brad comes on the screen, right? And I'm never going to stop clocking y'all about these bonnets because a vast switcheroony has occurred. The most amazing part of the bonnet rebranding for me personally is the fact that I lived through it, right? Because, come on now, this is not the first time white people have demonized something, then, tried to take it for themselves, right? But it hits so much differently when you experience it in real time. It's one thing when you read about it in history, like, oh yeah, back 100 years ago, white people did XYZ, right? But it's so different when it happens, like, while you're here experiencing it. It's like, wow, because y'all know one thing about me. Matter of fact, hold up, let me get my bonnet, because I ain't recorded a video with a bonnet on in a while. Hold up, I'm not finna let y'all gentrify, colonize, and rebrand the meaning of the bonnet. Hold up, give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Now, look, anybody who knows me knows that I'm the bonnet warrior queen. And you know what? I'ma just keep to social media for right now. I'm not even gonna talk about real life or nothing, because y'all don't know me in real life. Y'all don't know how I act in real life. That can't be proven or whatever right now. Let's talk about it on social media, okay? Y'all know good and well that I be on YouTube in my bonnet, right? Now, mind you, my 4-year anniversary as a content creator actually just passed. So I've been on YouTube the past 4 years, and a lot of my videos are in bonnets because I record videos at home. When I'm at home, I'm usually in my pajamas, in a bonnet, whatever comfortable, right? And it's crazy because white people have never had anything positive to say about me wearing this bonnet. Do you think when they come to my YouTube and they see me in a bonnet, they're like, oh, wow, this educated queen, she looks like an upstanding citizen? Absolutely not. They call me everything but a child of God, simply because I have a bonnet on my head, right? So it's especially funny to see this rebranding of the bonnet in real time. It's crazy because there are countless white women making videos now. And let me be fair. Hold up. It's not just white women. It's non-black women, period, okay? There's countless of them making videos wearing bonnets now. When these was the same ones trying to walk me like a dog for wearing a bonnet on YouTube a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So what happened? What happened? There has been a vast switcheroony in the works. A vast switcheroony, right? And like I said, it hits different when you live through it personally, right? Because we all know, for example, okay, let me speak from my, perspective. I'm 27 years old. I was born in the 90s, right? So I was born after Martin Luther King had died. Now, that's not true of everyone. Like, my parents were alive when Martin Luther King died. They were alive and well. They remember that, right? It's not like they were babies or anything, right? But I'm going to speak from my perspective, right? And just give an example, okay? So I came after the civil rights movement, and it's interesting seeing white people on the internet always using Martin Luther King quotes to tell black people to shut up, basically, right? Anytime a black person complains about racism or systemic oppression, white people are like, but Martin Luther King said, peacefully protest, just let us kill you and stand there, right? But then when you look back at the 1960s and you see these interviews of white people at the time, they hated Martin Luther King, right? So they hated him when he was alive. But then they did a vast switcheroony, right? A vast switcheroony. Now suddenly they be talking about they love him and, gosh, why aren't you other coons like him? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that same concept of how they rebrand their feelings towards something, right? And it's interesting enough to look at it, through a historical lens. But then when it happens, like, right before your very eyes, it's just like, yo, what? Y'all know good and well, white people, even now, that's the crazy part. It's not even just, before. Even now, we'll call you ghetto, ratchet, a hood rat, a baby mama, welfare queen, so and so, just based off this perception of the bonnet, right? So when a black woman wears a bonnet, she's ghetto and on welfare. But when these white bitches wear bonnets, these Mexican bitches wear bonnets, these Asian bitches wear bonnets, it's, oh my golly gee, thanks black women for teaching me how to take care of my hair. Like, it's not appropriation, it's just hygiene, so and so and so. So it's hygiene on you. It's just you taking care of your hair, right? But on me, the person who came up with this shit, it's, oh, I'm a baby mama and a welfare queen, and I'm looking for the gang hangout, whatever. Like, yo, what? Let me be abundantly clear. I don't give a damn about y'all coming to my YouTube video gaslighting either, because I know y'all coming, golly gee, well, actually, the Pilgrims wore bonnets on the Mayflower, my home diggity. I don't want to hear that shit, because I know good and well the stigma that I experience as a black woman wearing a bonnet. I have experienced this for many years, but now you raggedy ass bitches want to get on the internet talking about, well, it's just for hair care. Well, why is it just for hair care for you? But when it's black women wearing it, it's, oh, that's ghetto. She's scary. That's ratchet. So and so and so. When it's black women wearing it, it's nothing but negative. But when you raggedy raccoon hoes want to put a bonnet on, then suddenly it's just for taking care of your goddamn hair. Isn't that peculiar? It's crazy how y'all take part in so many aspects of black culture that you deem negative on us, but then when you take it, it's positive on you. In fact, oh my God, I made a video about this, and I hope I didn't delete it, because I deleted a lot of my videos. I had so many videos. It was just too many, right? But let me do a long story short. If I didn't delete it, I'll put the link to it up here, right? Woo, I did not delete it. I just went and checked, okay? I made a video about Dixieland music, right? I was at a secondhand shop and I found some old records from some group called the Dukes of Dixieland, okay? And I found a couple different volumes of these records. I found some very early ones and then some later ones, right? And on the back of these records, there was like a biography of the group and whatever, right? So they'd be like, oh yeah, the Dukes of Dixieland, they met in, wherever, and they formed a group, whatever, right? And it was so funny because you could see the huge shift that they took towards the actual origins of Dixieland music, right? So on the back of the early records, like volume 1, 2, 3, right? They were like, Dixieland music was created by some white guy. He wrote some song called whatever, and that was the origins of it, right? And then after that, there were a couple of albums where they were like, okay, yeah, Dixieland music had some African influence. The slaves brought their primitive instruments over. But, we the ones who really did, the big stuff, right? And then finally, in the later albums, they were like, yeah, we're paying tribute to the black people who actually created this stuff, yada, 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 so and so and so. Again, it's the age-old story of the vast switcheroony. So you telling me y'all saw that black genre of music, Dixieland, and you called it so many negative things when it was black people doing it, right? Like, y'all got to go watch the video I did on this whole thing. Click the link and watch it, right? They were like, yeah, it was primitive music, so and so and so, yada, 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 right? But then when they started doing it, imitating everything we did, suddenly, well, golly gee, it was just like the bonnet. My home diggity, it's just for hair care, so and so and so. So everything about black culture is negative when it's on black people. But when it's on y'all, after y'all steal it, then suddenly y'all see some positivity in it. Come on now. You want to know what the most rakukuist part of it is? It's the fact that white people stigmatize these things to the point where black people don't even want anything to do with them. In fact, a couple years ago, and I know I deleted this video because this one was pretty old, right? I made a video responding to, I believe, Monique and Cynthia G, because they had both said something negative about black women in bonnets, right? I forget what I said in that video, but my point is this. Monique and Cynthia G are not the only black people who have a negative perception of bonnets. A lot of black people look down on bonnets, right? And you got to ask yourself why. Because white people said so. White people said it's ghetto, it's ratchet, it's so-and-so. So black people internalize that, right? And that's not only bonnets they do that with. Black people look down on dark skin. Why? Because white people said so. Black people look down on nappy hair. Why? Because white people said so, right? White people stigmatize everything about us to the point where a lot of people in the black community don't even want anything to do with these things. And they'll cast them away. Oh, I don't like bonnets. I don't like dark skin. I don't like nappy hair. And then you turn around one day and it's white bitches in bonnets. It's Mexican bitches with box braids. It's Asian bitches with Bantu knots and shit. After these people sat here and stigmatized it so much on us that we didn't want shit to do with it. In fact, and I'm never gonna stop talking about this ever, 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 okay? I went to a job interview in 2021. And the white woman who was interviewing me said, "Oh, let's talk about the appearance standards." I said, "Okay," because, I'm expecting her to say, "Oh, no blue jeans, whatever," right? She said, "No dreadlocks and no cornrows." So I'm sitting there looking at her because I have dreadlocks in my head, right? Like, what? So instead of slapping the shit out of her, I went ahead and I sued her. And guess what? I lost because white people own this whole system, right? But this is my point. White people have stigmatized black hair to the point where black people have to assimilate into white society in order to get a job. So a black woman has to get a lace front or whatever in order to get a job, right? Because they put such a negative stigma around our hair. But then you turn around one day and they're talking about, golly gee, well, I love box braids. It's just a hairstyle, my homie. Oh, like, it's just hair. Culture is meant to be shared. I gotta be in the motherfucking Twilight Zone.